What if I told you that two of America's most iconic presidents shared a series of eerie coincidences? The parallels between the lives and deaths of Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy are strikingly uncanny. Today, we're diving into these fascinating parallels. Join me as we explore the historical coincidences that have captivated conspiracy theorists and history buffs alike for decades. Our story begins in the halls of Congress, where both Lincoln and Kennedy's paths to the presidency first intertwined. In 1846, a young Abraham Lincoln, representing Illinois, took his seat in the House of Representatives. Remarkably, exactly 100 years later, in 1946, a youthful John F. Kennedy followed suit, elected to the House from Massachusetts. Both men, ambitious and forward-thinking, would eventually ascend to the highest office in the land. In 1860, Lincoln secured his place in history as the 16th President of the United States. A century later, in 1960, Kennedy claimed the title of the 35th President. The weight of leadership often comes at a heavy price, and for both Lincoln and Kennedy, their time in office would be tragically cut short. Both men met their end by an assassin's bullet, and, as if orchestrated by a cruel hand of fate, both assassinations occurred on a Friday. Imagine the scene in Ford's Theatre on that fateful Good Friday in 1865. Abraham Lincoln, accompanied by his wife Mary Todd Lincoln, sought a moment of respite. But as he sat in the presidential box, a gunshot rang out, forever altering the course of American history. John Wilkes Booth, a Confederate sympathizer, had struck down the president. Decades later, the nation would once again find itself united in grief. On November 22, 1963, John F. Kennedy, accompanied by his wife, Jacqueline Kennedy, embarked on a political trip to Dallas, Texas. As their motorcade made its way through the crowded streets, gunshots pierced the air. Kennedy, struck in the head, slumped over. The nation watched in horror as the news unfolded. In the wake of tragedy, the responsibility of leadership falls upon the shoulders of the vice president. Both Lincoln and Kennedy were succeeded by men who shared not only a Southern heritage, but also the same last name, Johnson. Andrew Johnson, a Democrat from Tennessee who had served as Lincoln's vice president, ascended to the presidency after Lincoln's assassination. A century later, Lyndon B. Johnson, a Texan who had served as Kennedy's vice president, found himself thrust into the presidency after the assassination in Dallas. He too inherited a nation in mourning, grappling with the complexities of the Cold War and the burgeoning civil rights movement. The fact that both successors were Southern Democrats named Johnson is just one more thread in the intricate tapestry of Lincoln-Kennedy coincidences. As we delve deeper into this web of coincidences, we uncover yet another layer of intrigue surrounding the Johnsons. Andrew Johnson, who assumed the presidency after Lincoln's assassination, was born in 1808. Coincidentally, Lyndon B. Johnson, who took the helm after Kennedy's assassination, was born exactly 100 years later, in 1908. This shared birth year, separated by a century, adds yet another layer of peculiarity to the Lincoln-Kennedy saga. These were not just any two men who served as presidents. They were successors to two of the most iconic figures in American history, both of whom met untimely ends. The fact that they shared the same last name and were born a century apart is a detail that seems almost too strange to be true. The final chapter in our exploration of the Lincoln-Kennedy coincidences takes us into the minds of the assassins. John Wilkes Booth, the man who shot Lincoln, and Lee Harvey Oswald, the man who assassinated Kennedy, are forever etched in history as figures of infamy. Both men, driven by their own twisted ideologies, committed acts that shook the nation to its core. And as we examine their names more closely, we uncover yet another chilling detail. John Wilkes Booth, 3 names, 15 letters. Lee Harvey Oswald, 3 names, 15 letters. The coincidences surrounding the lives and deaths of Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy continue to fascinate and perplex. Are these merely random occurrences, a testament to the capricious nature of fate, or do they point to some deeper connection, a hidden pattern in the fabric of history? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more intriguing content.